think that we almost had a slip up by Hernandez, but not the slip up that I thought he was going to do, but it's definitely coming. What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to the DeAndre Way. And today we are going through the American Sports Story Aaron Hernandez episode 5. We in the building and we making our way. I believe there's only 8 episodes um, of this series. I'm gonna look real quick. Let me see. Hold on. We got, because the thing is, like, I'm pretty sure there's 8 episodes. There's 8 episodes, and it's started off a little wonky, I will say, with the this. Okay, we're still having over dramatization of the series and the episodes, but I think that we're getting to the thick of things, and definitely they're trying to turn the angle a little bit more towards, I don't want to call it serious, but just being more less goofy. That's the best way to put it. And I think that it's definitely a sense of seriousness is clicking and less gimmicky than the other episodes. And I like it. I like the episode a lot. But anywho, episode 5 titled The Patriot Way. And we'll start from the top. Starts off with a seminar showing the athletes that what they should avoid, the bad things when they get in. It shows a reenactment. So these people are putting on like not a play, but just like a scenario of, when you go back home around your family or your friends and there's people doing bad things, and if you get involved with it, you're the one that's going to get in trouble and blamed. I used to actually do something kind of like this. It was when I went to schools and presented to high schoolers on, HIV, AIDS, all these things, and how an everyday normal person could have it, but you just feel ostracized and different based off this one thing that you have. And I was kind of very much the same thing, not to the point of like completely reenacting things, but I just was like giving a monologue and talking about it and whatnot. So I definitely understand both sides of the story, because when I was in college we had these talks too. We definitely had these talks, and it was it was definitely funny to see, for instance. But I think definitely they think Hernandez wasn't paying any attention to anything, which he might not have been. But they always send these kind of people and talks to the football players, but a lot of times they're not taken seriously. So I definitely understand that aspect of it. But we get to the Patriots locker room, and look, the whole Gronkowski character. The Gronkowski character. Where do I begin with this guy? Gronkowski was a goofy dude. He is a goofy dude. He's a funny dude. But they making him look like a straight up idiot in this entire series. I don't think he was coming up in there day one being Gronk. He wasn't Gronk from right there getting to the Patriots. He was Gronkowski. And them making this dude look like a fool, looking him look like a clown the entire time. And the dude, look, it's just a little much for me. It's just a little much. Like, they're just making him real baboonery, in my opinion. He's acting like how the Gronk would act now, not how he would act when he first got into the NFL. He wasn't doing all that and acting like that. I know that. So I got some sources, and I know Gronkowski. I want to see what he has to say about his character. I need to find some podcasts and listen to players actually seeing how they portray themselves. Gronkowski, Cam Newton, Bill Belichick. I'm very interested. Bill Belichick, they're making him very funny and witty kind of guy, when I don't think that's him at all, especially not as a coach. But that's just what they're doing. But yes, the Gronkowski is. I'm tired. But yes, Belichick is not listening and jamming out. And yeah, he's not listening to jamming out to "This Is My Life, I Just Wanna Live." He's not doing all that. Like, where are they getting his source material from? Because I know he wasn't just doing all these things. I know it's just all over the place, to be honest with you. With the Gronkowski, I think they're having way too much fun with it. The writers I mean, Dominique Foxworth, a former NFL player, is a writer for this. I don't know if he played for the Patriots or not. I can't remember, but there's no way. There's no way. Yeah, they trying to get back at Coach for doing all them things to them, and now they're like, look, they're gonna make him look like a fool on TV. Maybe that's the ploy, but who knows? They was definitely playing in this whole entire thing though. And apologies if my sound is messed up, y'all. I don't know what's going on with my technology. They don't want me to keep doing the podcast, but we gonna do it anyways. Anywho, they acting a fool in this thing. But soon we get to the NFL players, um, their practice and whatnot. And I keep noticing, does Hernandez have a stunt double that is black? I can't tell if that's his tattoos or they put some black dude because he's running a little differently than what the actor would be, a little more athletically. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I got to look that up. It definitely didn't look like him though, because the way the actor was running and the way that this football player in practice was running was two different running styles. It wasn't the same. So I think it was something. The jig was up or something like that. And they made the NFL players in the locker room look. They're definitely focusing a little too much on like the sexuality part. And I'm not talking about Hernandez. I'm talking about like showing asses and nuts and balls and all these things. Like y'all, like we get it. It's a locker room, but they're just overemphasizing on these things that have nothing to do with anything, and they're insinuating that Hernandez likes that and him being around it. I'm like, look, they're just digging so deep into this one thing to where they're making that the whole plot line of the whole story, when the plot of the story is he killed a dude. And just tell the story as it is. I keep saying this week after like a broken record, but the dramatization of everything is just it's just a lie, y'all. It's just a lie. Like I like the drama, I like drama, but this overexerted fact when it comes to sports stories is just tired. It's why honestly, like I like watching sports stories, documentaries more than remakes because they just add too much fluff and cinnamon and sparkles and sprinkles on top that don't even need to be there. They don't. They don't. But anywho, they make the NFL players also look like regular dudes every other day, middle of the run dudes off the street. When NFL players, you can tell when you see one. They're jacked, they're big, they're brass. The guys that they showed look like regular people. Casting, what are you doing? I don't know what my phone call was this, but I didn't get a phone call, and I wonder why. I'm not gonna call any names out, but I wonder why I didn't get any calls for this. My agent, my old one, didn't do any favors for me. But yes, Hernandez is all right. I don't believe this happened. They showed this man showering. Then the teammates telling him, "Hey, you need to go pick up the pads after practice because you're a rookie." He proceeds to go pick up the pads, butt ass naked, and walk back into the locker room with the pads and walk by Belichick. And Belichick just like pretty much just doesn't do anything. He's like, I'm not, you're a grown man. You can do what you want to do. Really? What did that have to do with anything? Other than them trying to show Hernandez as a numbskull? That just is so out of pocket to where there ain't nothing there. They're they're making pockets that there ain't no pockets on. You know them pants that they have like 20 pockets? They just keep adding extra pockets to the pants. Crazy. Look, I think the second half of the episode was way better than the first half. First half was just a bunch of nonsense. But anywho, we get to the bar scene and this dude was like hitting on Hernandez in the open, and he was like smiling, laughing back. When I know that was kind of like, if he was trying to avoid, is he trying to avoid it or is he not? I mean, he did it in public in the middle of in the place, and his teammates were even like, "Hey, like, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, nothing. I think he wanted me to get with his girl." I'm like, bro. I was praising this episode. Now that I'm recapping it, I'm like, dang, this episode was actually like the beginning was not it, but so I don't know, it was just weird. But yes, Aaron soon goes to this fancy party with his high school friend, so he gets invited to go to what is the name of that party? I can't remember what the thing is called. I can't remember the exact name of the thing, but it's a mega celebrity get together with all the football players that the Crafts, the owners of the team, is hosting. And he invites Shania, who is his high school, I just call high school sweetheart, but his friend in high school, who I guess they had like a little thing, and he does have affection for her. But they go to this thing. It's really fancy. They see Belichick. They see Brady, who they add. It's when Brady had like the big swoop tomahawk haircut style, which is kind of goofy nowadays to see. But they're broke. They're seeing all these rich people around. They feel like they don't belong, and they're actually getting along fine. And they actually look like on a good couple. They seem like they're having chemistry in a very casual way. I think it's very natural too, to be honest with you. Going through things as friends, and then them coming together. It's a beautiful thing, to be honest. Like it's probably one of the more real. It's one of the most real moments we see in this entire episode slash entire series. I think honestly, because nothing was forced at this party. It was kind of just them vibing out and them feeling themselves. And the girl adds a lot and brings the naturalness out of the show and Hernandez. So they soon go to the party. It's whatever, but then they leave and they go to have a talk on outside, and then they start getting it on and cracking. um but you know they insinuate that Hernandez isn't really attracted to her like that, but he is willing to play the game. But yes, soon we see Shania hanging out with Shayana. I said Shayana, excuse me. Hanging out with the other NFL wives and girlfriends, and they're like, "Oh, well, my man did this, and I caught my man cheating that, but it don't matter as long as we get the bag." They're pretty much talking like glorifying being gold diggers. Not really the best message you're trying to send, I guess, but hey, I mean, you assume they're pretty much putting out there like all NFL wives are like they got the bag and they're happy about getting the bag instead of the person they're with. That's kind of the vibe I was getting. And yeah, and also at the party, Belichick made a joke that this was actually the party scene was my favorite part of the movie, favorite part of the episode, because Belichick made a joke. Said he said, "Hernandez, come here." Hernandez came over. It's like, I can't figure out what you are, a receiver or a tight end. I ain't gonna cap. That was a good joke they put in there. That was honestly that joke had me dying. I'm gonna give that joke a A plus. It just hit, and Aaron Hernandez was just like, huh? But it was funny. But yes, they reenact these Patriots games. I believe they play the Bengals. I believe they play uh, Broncos. Yeah, the Broncos too. They need to stick with just the real reenactments the real actual game film that they had, like they used at Florida. In Florida, when they showed it, they used like the actual game film. But in this reenactment, they made their own film, and it just looked goofy and sloppy and fake and phony. Players running into themselves like they're children. It's just, as a football fan, seeing that, I hate the football reenactments for the most part. They should have just kept using the real game footage if that was the way they were going to do it, in my opinion. It just looked goofy. And they didn't even do his he didn't even do his celebration right, because when Aaron Hernandez scored a touchdown, he's usually like throws the LeBron James smoke in the air. Almost knocked his lamp over. Throws LeBron James smoke in the air and spreads and makes it rain. But he was doing he did like a clap and then like clapped his hand. And I'm like, bro, what is going on? Oh, I had secondhand embarrassment watching some of these parts in this episode. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, it was a mess. But anywho, we soon get back to we soon get back to Aaron Hernandez going home, and his cousin Tanya, um, throws a party, and they're having a get together and whatnot. But then his mom's boyfriend, or his mom and his mom's boyfriend at the party, and his mom's boyfriend kind of steps to him, and then he gets in a fight with him essentially, and it's just he has a bad relationship with his mom, bad relationship with the stepfather. I don't know if they're married, but the mom's boyfriend, husband, whatever he is, and it's not good. It's very ugly, very toxic. It's kind of tough. You can't be friends with your mom. I mean, Aaron, he had a lot of things going on, and I think honestly, I'm more interested in those things rather than the perceived notion of the sex stuff in general, because that's actually real things rather than these artificially pushed narratives that may or may not have been true, So it's a lot. But then ends up going to hang out with his dope dealing friends, and they have a new guy there, Sherrod, who, you know, he's a gangster. Now this dude, Sherrod, look, he a gangster. He a bad dude in the show, perceived as bad. But I like it because he brings that realness. He reminds me of a character from like Power, that essence. He's bringing that essence, which is bringing the realism to the show, which is bringing kind of the mood of the show to a completely different direction. Because him and Shayana, they're changing with them being kind of like main characters of this episode. They change kind of the mood of the show, kind of going from like goofy and artificial and like sex driven to like real life things going down, with Aaron having a relationship with this girl and Aaron having a relationship with the drug dealer, and the fact of it's kind of really altering the trajectory of where he's going. Because Sherrod is this dude who comes in the picture and he tells Aaron to put his foot down. When he wants to get something done, you get it done. Don't think twice about what you want to do. Just do it. Now, I like the message, but I don't like the way that he's presenting it when he's talking about, shoot up somebody. Um, he said, if you want to have somebody up, then just do it. Nobody's in charge of you. And I respect, like I said, I respect the notion, but not, the whole beating up people and starting fights and gun gang banging and gun blazing and all these things. But the message at core is like stand up for yourself, you know, to the point where nobody's gonna question you. I understand it, but he was basically insinuating because Belichick is controlling the Patriot way, all this, that, and the third. But anywho, yes, they overdo Gronk and Belichick again. We see them sitting there taking pictures. Gronk is like, I'm Gronk. Yeah. I'm like, stop it. I've had enough of Gronkowski already. They can I hope he's not in any more episodes. And Belichick's just sitting in the locker room, just like, Hernandez, I don't like what they're doing. Blah, 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 blah. And I think the way they're doing the character notions of Belichick is funny and accurate, but all the extra like joking playfulness, no, I don't think Belichick was that witty and funny. And old boy Sherrod coming around, he keeps reminding Aaron that the team don't owe you nothing. They will drop you just like that, which he is right about. He is right. The team will drop you just like that, so you don't owe them nothing. Just come and do what you need to do. And soon we get to practice. We see Belichick put Hernandez in the backfield. He's putting running back, which they did actually do. And Chris shows up after the game. And Chris, if you forgot, Chris is his old boy, his friend from high school. Went to the military, has like a wife now, I believe, but they had a little thing going on. And they get some flirtatious vibes, and Aaron Hernandez tells him about Shayana, and Chris tells him about his wife. They reconnect. They kind of hint at some things, but all the looks, every single look you could think of, flirtatious look, they both was giving the whole thing. I mean, they was doing some things with their eyes that was pretty graphic. Oh snap! Oh snap! Hold on, testing. Hold on, y'all. My mic is messing up. Hold on. Hold on. Timeout. Hold on, y'all. All right. All right. Y'all. I hope this thing didn't cut off. Hold on. I'm going to pause this real quick. All right, y'all. Apologies. I don't know why my technical difficulties happening. I hope it should be good, but I guess I'll have to see afterwards. Anywho, yes, where was I? Oh yes, Chris. So his girlfriend ends up calling him. They try and figure out what's popping, and he's nowhere to be found. But eventually, he slept over at Chris's house doing who knows what. And he wakes up and then runs back home, and he's like, "I wasn't doing nothing." She's like, "You better not be cheating on me." This, that, and the third. I didn't know they were officially together at that point. At this point, like I thought they were just doing it for show and play. But apparently, they live together now and whatnot, and it's a very interesting dynamic. Very interesting to say the least. But yeah, it's definitely I just am curious of how much this is accurate. I need to do some more homework on that on the whole matter, but I'm just very curious on how accurate this whole Chris situation is. So we'll see. But yeah, he insinuates that and says there's no other women involved, which we should tend to believe, but obviously like read between the lines. Okay. But yes, we soon see Gronkowski getting beat up. Gronkowski. Hernandez getting beat up in practice. Okay, hold on. They don't hit like this during the regular season in practice, y'all. They do hitting in camp. Nowadays, they really don't do hitting at all. But they're not going full contact in practice like this in the middle of the season. So that was fake. They're not. Belichick isn't getting him knocked out again and again and again by telling the defense the plays and risking him getting one of his star players hurt. That definitely did not happen. And because that is so exaggerated, and I don't know the factual things about the other things, so it's always leading to things being very convoluted. So I don't get the point of that. They're trying to like insinuate, okay, he's hitting hard at practice, that's causing the concussions and causing him to act out, but they weren't doing that in the first place of practice. So that was all cap. And then in the game, sure, he was getting hit, but the practice, he wasn't going through all that. Like, stop the cap. But soon they get a call. Aaron Hernandez's mother gets cut in the face with a kitchen knife by the boyfriend, and he's ready to go tear him up and teach him a lesson. Teach him a lesson that he won't soon forget. If you know, you know. And so Aaron is like, all right, you want to play? Well, we can play. So him and homeboy pull up on the mom's boyfriend, and they stomp him out in the schoolyard, literally. Stomp him out, put a gun to his head. Don't pull the trigger, but definitely they show him what's popping, and he's like, if it happens again, it's game over. No reset button. I was like, dang. Honestly, in the end, like, it was getting real. Like the mom in the hospital, them pulling up on dude. Like the second part of the episode was really good. And yes, they insinuate that last part is during the game. They're patting Hernandez on the helmet when he does a good job and whatnot, and they're like, oh, like that's part of concussion. And yes, I will say when you get hit on the head with a lot of people, it can give you a headache. Like that can happen. Not that easy, but I've never had a true concussion issue. I've had a couple concussions, but they kind of came and went. And I don't like people hitting me on my helmet. I don't. It's kind of annoying. Marshawn Lynch didn't like it either. It's just I don't really do it to people unless I'm messing with them. I didn't do it to people unless I was messing with them. But it's very annoying to kind of get your head hit a bunch like that. It's more just annoying than rather give you like concussion things. So that's definitely over exaggerated as well. And that's where the episode ends. They stomp dude out, and they're leading the concussion symptoms even more, which more plausible reason of why they're insinuating why he did what he did. And yeah, like I said, look, the beginning of the episode was goofy, I will say, but the ending was actually very good. And we have 3 more episodes, and this episode did have a higher rating than last week's episode. I see. It's called The Man too. I don't know why I called it whatever I called it, but this one's called The Man. I think I called it The Patriot Way, but it's called The Man. We have 3 more episodes, y'all. That's it. And I'm ready to get to the Dirty Pain episode, the name of the 7th episode. Dirty Pain. Very interesting. But yes, y'all. I'd give this episode probably I'll give it a 6. They fixed it up at the end. Still could use some work, but considering an NFL player helped write this episode, I expected it was better, so I guess that did make sense on that aspect, but definitely some over exaggeration on things. But I guess hey, I guess Murphy, he what's his name? Is that his name, Murphy? Yeah, I guess Ryan Murphy was just like, look, we got to keep some of the craziness in there. All right, you can do something, Foxworth, but you got to keep some of the craziness in there. But yes, y'all, appreciate you joining me for this reaction to episode 5 of the Aaron Hernandez American Sports Story. We'll be back next week with episode 6. Only 3 to go, y'all. We getting there. We will see what happens. I mean, even though we know what happens, but we will see the way they want to tell it. Till next time, y'all. Peace, blessings, deuces, and have a great rest of your